All right, welcome back to the Trap Talk podcast. Ask us anything. As always, email us at askus@traptalkpodcast.com. And this question is coming in from Michael Hunn. He says, I'd like to know why Richard always starts on post 1. Wouldn't it be better to start on 3 or 4 or 5 so you get to see some targets? I know Sean Hawley starts on post 3. I can see starting on 3, 4, and 5 for doubles. But Rick, why post 1?
I guess when I was younger, like 13 or 14, we shot high school trap, and they always we did it by your averages, and so I had the high average, they put you on post 1. So I shot that for high school. And then when I started shooting ATA, or as I was shooting an ATA, when I started shooting with Frank Hoppy, my coach and mentor on his squad, post 1 was open. So I was like, okay, I'll shoot post 1. And I jumped into it, and I don't know. I mean, I can handle the pullers, the setters, whatever, as far as talking to them, not, getting pissy with them. I see a lot of squads where, and this has happened even, recently, where I know at the Autumn Grand, we had a lady that scored for us that had never scored doubles before. And she was all nervous. I said, listen, you got that button.
It's okay. It was just the Autumn Grand.
Turn it on and off. If you have any issues, shut it off. You're in control. So, and that kind of made her at ease. And then, like, I think it was the third night, she was scoring shoot-offs,
Oh, nice.
And that's the thing is, if you're nice to the scorers, they will work for you. So, have always liked post 1. I just walk from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm done. I do shoot at in the past, like Iowa State shoot for years. I shot with Dale Stockdale, Larry Bumstead, and John Halford, myself, and Jennifer Wilburn. And I shot post 5. That was the spot that was open. When I jump on squads, I'm just like, okay, what post is open? I'll shoot whatever.
Yeah.
You guys know I like 1. So
as Ricky's squad mate, I can tell you that he's really good at leading the squad. So I think like if you're a squad leader, which means you're good at handling the sheets, you understand the rules, you understand when and where it's the right time to ask the squad if we're going to look and reset a target or not. You're not just doing it every time, right? You're like, he never does it. He never does it, right? I mean, we know when Ricky's on in that post, he's kind of the anchor, right? And so I think
you feel comfortable like when he's on there, yeah.
You have to have some responsibility of taking on that anchor position and saying, okay, I've got to do a little bit more. But I mean, I would see from the outside looking in, because I used to always get stuck with post 1. Same reason Ricky said. There was never anything available. When I shot with Dave Kelly and them guys, what post did they have open? 1. So if I wanted to shoot with the greatest guys on the grounds, I had to shoot the post that they didn't want, and they didn't want to shoot that post 1 for that double reason. They're scared. Yeah, they're scared. Cowards. So what I will say for me and for Ricky, I would personally say that some of his success at some level might be because he pays attention more than everybody else when he starts. He's not just, I need to know where that target is. Like, he is paying attention and making a shot to that first target. And if that first bird comes off out of line, guess what? He's going to go to it. He's not going to just assume that it's going to be exactly where it's supposed to be. I think there's something to be said about having a gradual shift from 1, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 instead of making those abrupt shifts from 5 to 1, going this side of the field to that side of the field. But more, I think it's the other stuff that we already discussed.
One of the things is, it really, when you get up there, you got the responsibility. Okay, the targets. I don't change targets, and we all know that.
Unless they're horrible.
Yeah, unless they're totally illegal.
Illegal.
But it's one of those deals of, you know what? I hold my gun on the house, so I move up to the target. I don't hold a high gun because I want to always be able to see the target leave. So that's why it don't bother me on doubles. A lot of people were like, I want to see some pairs. Well, I do. I throw a pair, okay, mark my spot and go.
He sees one pair. One pair.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
all it takes.
if you're going to trap that target, well, then that's a problem. But if you're going to shoot it the way I shoot it or the way Ricky shoots it, it really doesn't matter if you see it or not, because you're on the lip, you're seeing it, you're making a shot. And even when we spoke with Bartholo, who traps the target, he says, well, when I get stuck on lead off on those shoot offs, he says, I got to come down and I got to pay attention to that a little bit more when I'm on my lead off rounds versus on my other rounds. So, there's something to be said about that, guys.
And backing it up, so I remember years ago, I was shooting, I think it was at the Grand in Vandalia, and I was in a shoot-off with some very, very top shooters, some very good shots. And one of them made the comment when it came to rotate that they had to lead off, and this was in doubles. And they were like, oh, great. And I'm like, And that was, they weren't confident. They don't shoot lead off. They got out there, and they missed a couple targets.
Gone.
And then it got done. I just asked, I said, oh, you don't shoot? And they're like, oh, I hate leadoff. Well, that was already a negative thought in your head. And that's why I was like, you know what? If I shoot leadoff, then wherever I get moved around to, it don't matter.
Don't matter.
I think that's the key takeaway to this conversation is get comfortable starting on every post, because guess what? If you're going to be in a shoot-off and you're going to go out there, well, then it doesn't really matter. And Ricky Marshall, when he goes in a shoot-off and they stick him on post 5, he doesn't be like, oh, well, it's not post 1, so I'm going to lose. No, he's like, well, I don't care, right? And I think there are people that walk out, and when they're in a shoot-off and they get post 1, they're defeated. They're like completely dead. And I mean, I've seen this with some people more times than not. I've won double shoot-offs when it shifts and that person's got to go to lead off. If they're one of those aggressive machine gun shooters, I'm like, okay, I'll get through the round where I lead, and then we'll see how they lead, right? And sometimes, boom, they're out really quickly. Now, if they get through that, now I know we're going to be here a little while. But that's just it's just how it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Michael, thank you very much for the question. Guys, thank you very much for the answers. As always, email us at askus@traptalkpodcast.com, and we'll get these two guys to answer it for you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.